welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into a pretty major shift happening globally. It's all about nutrition.
That's right. And it's not just about, personal health, though. That's key. It connects to much broader development issues.
Exactly. Which is, well, super relevant for anyone trying to get a handle on how these big global trends fit together, especially if you're tracking policy and development goals.
Absolutely. And you see this reflected in things like the recent Nutrition for Growth Summit in Paris and the UN extending its decade of action on nutrition right through to 2030. It's all tying back to those sustainable development goals.
Right, the SDGs. So for ages, the talk was mostly about, getting enough food out there, food security.
And focusing heavily on those very early years, the first couple of years of life.
But now there seems to be this growing buzz around nutrition education, particularly for older kids, school kids, even adolescents. It feels different.
It is different. I mean, there's this realization sinking in that just having access to food, to calories, isn't the whole picture. People need the know-how, the skills to actually choose well. Choices that are good for them, but also fit their culture and, importantly, are sustainable.
So let's unpack that education piece. You mentioned the N4G Summit. There was that side event, Learn to Eat Well. It's clearly not just about counting calories anymore, is it?
No, not at all. It's about fostering, maybe food literacy is a good term.
Food literacy, I like that.
Yeah. Understanding the whole story of food, where it comes from, how it affects your body, the planet.
And how to deal with all the marketing for processed stuff that's everywhere.
Exactly that. Navigating that modern food environment is a huge part of it. It's overwhelming.
And it seems like a big reason for this push is this worrying trend, the decline in dietary diversity. What's going on there?
Well, that's a critical piece of the puzzle. Our modern food systems, they've kind of eroded the variety in our diets.
How so?
It's complex, but simplification of agriculture, long supply chains.
Yeah.
It leads to less variety available or affordable. The UN actually tracks this.
Right, under SDG 2, is it?
Yes, the Minimum Dietary Diversity Indicator.
Yeah.
And honestly, the numbers are concerning. Many kids globally aren't even hitting 5 out of 10 key food groups daily.
5 out of 10, wow. That doesn't sound like very much.
It isn't. And it has real consequences for growth, development, long-term health.
And I guess we shouldn't assume this is only a problem in, say, poorer rural areas.
That's a really important point. No, you see inadequate diversity in cities, in wealthier countries too. It might look different. But the core issue, lack of variety, maybe lack of awareness, it's widespread. It points to system problems.
Okay, so if we're missing out on that variety, what does that lead to? It's more than just missing a few vitamins.
Oh, much more. Poor diversity is a major driver of malnutrition in, well, all its forms.
You mean like undernutrition and obesity?
Exactly. The double burden. Plus, strong links to chronic diseases later on, diabetes, heart problems, and even mental health. There's growing evidence there too. Dietary risks are now seen as contributing more to the global disease burden than many other factors we hear a lot about.
That really does paint an urgent picture. I remember reading somewhere that habits formed early,
Yeah,
they stick.
they really do. Some research suggests something like 70% of preventable adult diseases actually start with habits formed in childhood.
70%. That's staggering.
It is. It really highlights why intervening early and consistently matters so much. It's about building those healthy habits from the ground up.
Which brings up an interesting point. For years, all the focus was on the first 1,000 days, right? From conception to age 2.
Yes, that was absolutely dominant thinking, and for good reason. It's a critical foundation.
But is that still the whole story?
Well, the thinking is evolving. While those first 1,000 days are undeniably crucial, there's much more attention now in the next 4,000 days.
The next 4,000. So basically childhood and adolescence.
Precisely. This is a period of massive physical growth, brain development is still happening rapidly, and habits really get locked in. It's being seen as a vital second window of opportunity.
So it's not just damage control for early issues, but actively building for the future during the school years.
Yes. Good nutrition then can help kids catch up if they started behind. It fuels all that development. And it really lays the groundwork for lifelong health. It means we need to shift
For just feeding kids?
to actually educating them about food,
Yeah.
empowering them.
Okay, so if that period is so important, schools seem like the obvious place to do this education. You've got the kids right there.
They are the ideal setting,
Yeah.
in theory. You have a structured environment, consistent access to a large group of children during these formative years.
But the reality is, often it's not happening. or not well.
That seems to be the case in many places.
Yeah.
Nutrition education is often just missing from the curriculum.
Or it's maybe outdated, irrelevant.
Exactly. Or it's delivered inconsistently. It doesn't connect with the students' actual lives, the food they see and eat every day.
And what about the teachers? Are they equipped for this?
That's another major hurdle. Often, teachers haven't had specific training in this. They might lack the right tools, the confidence, or even the time in a packed schedule to teach it effectively.
So if we wanted to do this properly in schools, what would that look like?
We need a proper, thought-out curriculum, something structured, starting early, maybe even preschool, and building progressively right through middle school.
And what would it cover? Beyond vitamins and minerals.
Oh, much broader. The relationship between food and your body, of course, but also food and the environment.
Sustainability, right?
Yes. And food and culture, identity. Where does our food come from? Why do we eat what we eat?
And that idea of biodiverse diets you mentioned earlier, using local seasonal foods.
That should be central.
Yeah.
Promoting diets that use local, seasonal, culturally relevant foods has so many wins. Better nutrition, supports local farmers, better for the environment.
It connects everything up.
It really does.
Yeah.
Health, economy, environment.
Okay, that's the vision. But how do you make it real in a busy school day? What does it look like on the ground?
It needs to be hands-on, immersive, not just textbook stuff.
Like school gardens, cooking classes.
Definitely. Regular weekly lessons, yes, but combined with gardening, cooking, also looking critically at what's served in the school canteen, making those options healthier and more diverse.
And getting the students involved themselves.
Absolutely. Student-led campaigns, projects, making them advocates for healthy eating within the school.
Are there schools actually doing this stuff well already?
Yes, there are innovative schools around the world showing it can be done. Places where kids are learning to read labels, prepare simple meals, understand where food comes from, the impacts of their choices. It's really inspiring.
And it actually changes how they eat.
The evidence suggests yes. When it's engaging and relevant, it leads to real shifts in attitudes and behaviors.
Now, since our source today is the Hindu, let's bring it to India. Are there foundations to build on there?
Yes, India does have relevant frameworks. The National Education Policy mentions health and wellness, and there's the School Health and Wellness Program under Ayushman Bharat.
So the potential is there.
The potential is definitely there. These provide a starting point. But the key now is to take that potential and develop it into a really comprehensive curriculum.
Meaning?
Meaning consistent implementation across states and school types, good quality, relevant materials for students, and crucially, proper training and support for the teachers who have to deliver it.
So moving beyond just policy statements to actual effective programs on the ground.
Exactly. Making it a real priority, resourcing it properly. That's how you get meaningful change for children's health.
And there's another angle too, isn't there? These kids, once they learn this stuff, they don't just keep it to themselves.
No, that's a powerful ripple effect. Children can be amazing agents of change within their families.
Oh, so?
They can influence what meals are cooked at home, push for healthier options, talk about reducing food waste. They take the message back. They can advocate in their communities, too.
Right. Promoting more sustainable practices, maybe asking questions about where food comes from locally.
It empowers them, and it can create a positive feedback loop.
So wrapping this up then, the big message seems to be this growing focus on nutrition education, especially in schools, is a really critical evolution.
I think so.
Yeah.
The key takeaway, really, is that food literacy.
Yeah.
It's not just a nice to have anymore. In our complex world, it's becoming a fundamental life skill.
Tied into health, the environment, even culture.
All of it. Understanding food is essential for navigating modern life effectively.
And teaching children how to eat well, how to understand food. It's basically an investment in the future, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's an investment in a healthier generation, a more capable generation, maybe even a more empathetic one, understanding connections to farmers and the planet.
That leads to a final thought, maybe something for you, the listener, to mull over, particularly if you're looking at things from a policy or development perspective, like many UPSC aspirants are.
Yes. Think about the wider, long-term benefits if we really prioritize this kind of comprehensive food education in schools. How could that ripple out?
How might it connect with other national goals? Economic development, environmental targets, public health savings.
Exactly. How does investing in food-literate children strengthen the nation overall? It's worth some deep reflection.
Definitely something to consider. If you found this deep dive helpful, please do like and subscribe. It helps us bring you more content like this.
And please leave your thoughts or any further questions in the comments. We do read them.
Today's deep dive was based on reporting and analysis found in the Hindu. Thanks for tuning in.